Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're diving into a skill we all kind of think we have, but let's be honest, we rarely use it to its full potential. We're talking about observation. We're going to uncover the huge difference between just looking at the world and what it means to truly, deeply see it. So, let's get into it. It's a simple question, right? But it's actually pretty deep. I mean, think about your drive to work this morning, or even just the room you were in 5 minutes ago. How much detail can you really remember? The thing is, we're just slammed with information all day long, and most of it just washes right over us. We glance, but we don't really register the story that's happening right in front of us. So, how do we break that habit? How do we get beyond that passive looking? Well, the key is to completely reframe how we think about observation itself. It's not a passive thing, like hearing something in the background. No, it's an active, intentional skill. It's like a muscle that you can actually train and get better at. I find this definition so powerful. That word right there, intentional, that's the game changer. This isn't about your eyes just taking in light. It's about you actively, deliberately gathering information. And here's the crucial part, understanding the context. The who, what, where, when, and why. That's what turns a simple look into a powerful insight. Okay, so how do we actually build this muscle? Lucky for us, the source for this explainer gives us an incredible 7-part toolkit. These are real, practical strategies we can start using right away. Let's dig into the first part, which is all about setting the stage for what we're about to see. All right, strategy number 1 is all about picking a target. If you try to observe everything at once, your brain just goes into overload, and you end up really seeing nothing. So the absolute first step is to decide, what or who am I actually focusing on right now? And it really just boils down to this simple question. Am I focusing on one specific person? Am I watching a particular behavior, like how people use the self-checkout line? Or am I trying to get the vibe of an entire event? Just making that single decision makes your attention razor sharp. Next up, we have to think about frequency. How often are we going to look? Because a single snapshot in time, it can be super misleading. To really get what's going on, whether it's someone's mood or how a team works together, you've almost always got to look more than once. This is really where the magic starts to happen. When you observe something multiple times, you start to see the patterns, the rhythms that are completely invisible if you just glance once. Think about a coffee shop. It's a totally different world at 7 a.m. on a Monday versus 2 p.m. on a Saturday. Our third tool is all about timing. Specifically for how long you're going to observe. Are you planning a quick 5-minute check-in, or are you settling in for an hour-long deep dive? The length of time you watch for changes everything you're going to see. And here's the thing, there's no single right answer. Both short and long periods are super valuable. A quick look might catch a spontaneous, candid moment. A longer session could reveal a whole complex process unfolding from start to finish. The key is to match the duration to your. Okay, this brings us to a really, really important idea. Context is everything. A person, a place, an event, it can look completely different depending on the situation. To get the real story, you have to mix it up. You have to introduce variations. So, for example, observe something at totally different times of the day or in a few different locations. Watch how a team meeting changes when different people are in the room or when different age groups are interacting. Every single one of these little changes adds a new, crucial layer to what you're seeing. All right, so we've covered the external stuff, the what, when, and where. But now it's time to turn that magnifying glass around and look at the observer, which is you. This next set of strategies is all about your role in the situation and, well, the most complicated tool of all, your own mind. This is such a fascinating question to ask yourself, one we rarely think about. Who am I in this picture? Am I supposed to be an invisible fly on the wall, or am I actually part of the action? Because believe me, the role you play will fundamentally change what people do and what you see. So you could just observe from a distance, not participating at all, or you could try to just blend in so no one even notices you're watching. Or you could become what they call a participant observer and jump right into the activity to understand it from the inside out. Each role unlocks a totally different kind of information. Okay, this next tool, this might be the most important one of the whole bunch. We have to admit that none of us sees the world with perfectly clear eyes. We all see it through our own personal lens. a filter that's built from our experiences, our beliefs, our biases. And just being aware that you have a lens, that's half the battle right there. And this slide just nails the point perfectly. On one side, you've got that clear, focused view. On the other, the image is warped, it's distorted. Our internal lens can do either of those things to reality. Now, the goal isn't to get rid of your lens. That's impossible. The goal is just to know it's there and to understand how it's coloring what you see.
And knowing about our lens leads us straight to our final, and maybe the trickiest, strategy of all. You have to separate fact from feeling. We have to draw a really clear line between what we are actually seeing and the story we immediately tell ourselves about it. This is where most of us get tripped up.
So here's the difference, plain and simple. An observation is the raw data. The person's arms are crossed. An interpretation is the judgment or meaning we add. That person is closed off and defensive. They feel like the same thing, but they are two completely separate steps. So, here's a brilliant, super practical tip from the source material. Just document both of them. When you take notes, literally make 2 columns. In one column, write down only what you saw, the objective facts. In the other column, write down your interpretation, your guess, your feeling about it. This simple habit brings so much clarity. And there you have it, a complete 7-part toolkit for literally transforming how you see the world around you. Because as we've seen, being a great observer isn't some magical talent you're born with. It's a process. It's about deliberately applying a set of strategies. So let's do a super fast recap of the whole toolkit. First, you set the stage. Figure out your focus, your frequency, your duration, and what variations you want to see. Then you look inward. What is your role as an observer, and what personal lens are you looking through? And finally, the golden rule. Always, always separate your observation from your interpretation. With this toolkit, you are now totally equipped to see the incredible richness and detail in the world that honestly, most people just walk right past every single day. The stories are out there, they're everywhere, just waiting to be noticed. So the only question left is, what will you choose to truly see today?